This is the garden party, and we want a garden party with you. We talk about the plants we grow and some things you might not know. The garden party.
I love that intro. That intro never gets old. Never, ever, ever gets old.
Never gets old.
It is Wednesday.
You, Corey. Oh yeah, sorry.
Craig. Shout out to Craig for the intro. Yes, thank you, dude, so much. It is Wednesday, 7 p.m. and I am actually home, so it's nice. Like I'm actually in my office doing the podcast, and we have not done the podcast old school, me and you, since we got the new intro. So this is weird, man. How are you? How you doing?
Of us, and then I'm good. I'm tired. I actually had a fender bender last week.
Oh no! In the leaf.
The leaf has fallen.
I was saying, depending on what kind of vehicle hits your Nissan Leaf, I'm surprised you're alive.
Well, that was the thing. I got rear-ended. I'm okay. I had whiplash. So, like, when you get whiplash, like you can feel it in your head. Like these muscles all tensed up. You can see I have limited hair left. I try to hold on to what I got. That's why I got this awesome hat, guys. But
the kids don't help with that.
No. They also don't care. They're like, "Oh, where's the car, Dad? It's broken." Oh, okay. Can you give me a frozen yogurt?
Yeah, right.
Cool. But luckily, like the airbags didn't deploy or anything. It was hit slow enough that like I got rear-ended and I got smushed into the car in front of me. I'm glad nothing was worse. So everything was fine, safe. The human element of everyone around me was really welcomed. The officer was super helpful that managed it all. So looking for the people that bind us together during bad times hopefully
get it out of the beginning.
Get it out, man.
I don't edit these anymore.
It's okay. But I am just a plant parent and regular parent juggling the two with life in between. So I'm glad, yeah. But honestly, it was probably I was going to ride this leaf until the end, but I didn't think the end was going to happen that soon. But anyway, everything else is good. It's fall, so like now I'm not like everything's not melting outside with a UV index of 11. Right. Now I can like grow things, and the figs are going down. But I just posted a really fun video because I put my first fig tree, the very first one, in the front yard ever. There's no, all my hundreds of fig trees are in the backyard. Now I have something in the front yard, and I'm really excited. So everyone, if you haven't watched it yet, give it a go. But it's nice to garden with like where I'm not going to melt or sweat through my clothes.
Oh, dude, we're supposed to get a cold front. I mean, we're really supposed to get a cold front here in Houston. We're also live on Instagram now. We're live on the Texas Garden Guy Instagram page. So shout out to IG. There's a little bit of a lag between us and the live on Instagram, but yeah, no, we were supposed to get a cold, like we got like a cool front, like it's cooled down, like it's not mid to high 90s. Cold. No, I mean it was showing like in the 50s. Like it shows gonna be like in the 50s.
You might see your breath in the 50s, man.
Yeah, man. Like in the 50s, you won't bust a sweat just going to your car, But it has cooled down a little bit. I was working outside today, doing a lot of stuff. I'm having to add another greenhouse in my backyard. So I demoed two of my raised beds, took them out, moved them. In the process, I took out a part of the fence. I took out a section of fence today. So I got to redo a little section. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Daisy.
Well, I just, the raised beds had been there for like 5 or 6 years. And I'd seen like some of the cedar pickets, the bottom were kind of rotten. And so I want to go ahead and replace them while I still have the chance. Oh, Des is here.
It is time.
I don't even recognize. Who is this? Who is this? I see.
Who is this person?
Who comes that?
This is a college student in the middle of midterms, and my life is not my own currently. So,
like Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, I'm back in college.
It's like every day is a fresh new challenge right now, to be honest.
That's how it is. Yeah. Like you forget how the fact, like you don't think college is fast paced until you go back to the professional world, and then you go back into college and you're like, whoa, we're moving. Oh, we're moving. Oh, midterms. But wait, 2 months, we're done with the semester already? You're like, what just happened?
Yeah. And this semester, I'm not really taking a ton of like plant courses. So right now it's a lot of basics and extra things. And it's really hard for my ADD to stay focused on so many things that I don't care about. So next 100%. Semester, I've already had my appointment with my advisor, who is now Vikram. And I am going to be
that's
in like more than...
that's a conflict of interest. I think it's a conflict of interest. You have to get a new advisor.
I'm going to be in more than one plant and soil science class next time, which will make me feel a whole awful lot better. Yeah. Right now I'm like, I feel like I just hijacked this conversation. I'm sorry. Hello, everyone.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Des. Some of our newer followers might not know you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Des. Nice to see you. I am usually around here, but lately I've been scarce. I haven't been able to hang out with my friends or do very much gardening for several reasons. One of which is just the full fact that it's too hot to garden in Austin still. At least for fall vegetables.
That's crazy.
It's so bad.
Dude, I was there last week. The mornings are nice. The mornings are kind of nice. Yeah, but it burns off pretty quick. You don't really have any humidity. That's the thing.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Usually we do have a little bit of humidity, but right now it is so dry. And we had like this, my weather notification came across my phone and it was like, this week 2 cold fronts will move in and even drier air will settle in. And I was like, oh, cool. I love that for us. But it looks like we have some rain in the forecast this weekend. So I'm excited about that.
Same here.
Finally.
Same here. Yeah. Go ahead.
I do have stuff growing out there though, because I sowed seeds a couple of weeks ago. So I've got like, I was like, I'm going to try another round of cucumbers and see what happens. So I've got cucumbers and nasturtiums out there. I've got some green beans. I've still got like a bunch of herbs and things, but for the most part, it's, can't put cilantro out there. It's still too hot.
Yeah. Now,
this is where we differ. Like, go for it.
No, you
North Carolina, we're slowing down. Like, I can put stuff out in full sun now. Like, our sun is lower in the sky. You can see it. And it's like, it's kind of crazy. Just my tomatoes, I did a second round of tomatoes, and they're doing so well, except they're not putting on fruit. And I'm like, dang it, guys. But I think it might be a heat and sunlight thing. And, but to hear what's growing for you and to see what's like slowing down for me, I'm just like, I guess 3 weeks ahead of you guys, a month ahead of you guys in cooler temps.
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Our average first frost here in Austin is November 24th, but usually by now we've had some rain and there has been no rain here. It's been so dry again. It's a little disheartening.
Yeah. It's been dry. Does it feel freeze? It's still frozen. Damn, he's sexy. Bill, are you frozen, brother?
I was frozen. This new internet, man. This new internet.
Like, you were sitting there like,
yeah. I'm glad I froze like that.
It's so adorable.
But but no, we got new internet, which is fiber, the T-Mobile fiber. But I think I need to get like a booster again. I gotta set up over here because I'm in my frog on the farthest point from my.
Is it the same router? Or even you have a new router?
New router.
Okay. Yeah, I went to like a Wi-Fi 7 router, and it like I bought another iPad or iPod or iMac Mini, Mac Mini or whatever.
Only a 7, bro.
Yeah, Wi-Fi 7 is like the.
I'm kidding. I have no clue.
But no, I bought another Mac Mini because I thought it was my slower Mac Mini. That was I had my MacBook Air, I had my Mac Mini, and it was fine until we started just live streaming, and then I had issues, and like. I tried it on several devices and I was like, what's going on? And it was the router. I bought a new router and it fixed everything.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't like that happens.
I don't buffer no more. Yeah, I was over in your neck of the woods in Austin last week, and it was really nice with the weather and everything. Like it was hot in the later afternoons. I was at Leaf Landscape for a TNLA event, and I got bit by mosquitoes. The only place you'll get bit by a mosquito is if there is a water feature or something nearby, like Hill Country Water Gardens. You might get bit by a mosquito out there because everywhere else there's no water, dude. There's no water.
Yeah.
What?
Even at Perdinall State Park, I was out there and there was water, but there was no mosquitoes. It was insane. It was weird.
Our neighbors behind us have a dilapidated hot tub with no lid on it, and so we still have mosquitoes around here. It's very frustrating.
Just toss some dunks.
Lob a mosquito dunk over the fence.
Those dunks work.
Yeah, they do.
And my dog has eaten them before and it didn't hurt him, so I know they're safe. Like it was in his. It's safe for livestock and animals and whatever. I used to have like a 10-gallon like galvanized bucket in my back porch that had like a goldfish in it and everything, and Duke would drink out of it. And I just throw a dunk in there, and like one day it was just missing. And I was like, I just put it in there yesterday. I look over at Duke, and he's eaten like the whole thing already. I'm like, oh my god! And he was fine. He was fine.
And he's never been bit by a mosquito again.
Oh yeah, oh for sure. Oh man. Well, how is I know you talked about it a little bit earlier, Phil, but your figs you're still getting some ripe figs?
I am. My late ripeners, so like all the Black Madeiras and Col de Dames. So Col de Dame Blanc, Col de Dame Noir, all Col de Dame Ramada, which is great about Col de Dame Ramada is that thing just ripens figs for a while, like once it sets fruit. And then my Figo Preto, which I did a rejuvenation prune on, but I'm getting some ripe Figo Pretos, and they're just so good. And
he froze.
Oh no, Phil.
I know. No.
And I buffered, and I'm back. Where did I leave off? Cooler temps, acidic flavor in your figs. Figo Preto, Black Madeira, White Madeira 1, the ones that take the longest hang time when you're in a warmer climate, they're ripening now. And so when I go outside, I get figs for Phil. These are Phil's figs. And now I had some awesome air layers from these trees this year. Like, you guys don't know how excited. Like, if you guys haven't watched that air layering propagation video I did, like, I just got 4 Col de Dame Blanc fig trees in 3 gallons like that. And I can't believe it. Anyway, I'm glad we're talking about figs now. I'm getting jazzed up. But my Figo Pretos are just pumping out figs. And like, I had fig rust. I had all the things. Things are slowing down in some aspects, but I walked outside and had a White Madeira #1, and it was just fire, dude. And then the other thing going on, it's starting to ripen in my citrus. So my Brown Select Satsuma, and G&G Farm just commented, like, you probably don't even need a Black Madeira if you have a Figo Preto, and I find that my Figo Preto doesn't split. My Black Madeira split, my Black Tuscan, which is a Black Madeira type, split, but like, it looks like my Fig Sticks I-258. If you guys have I-258 or Genovese Nero AF, those figs are phenomenal.
Did you ever find out what AF stood for?
He froze.
Man. Jimmy Buffer over here.
Oh no.
I'm so glad it's not me anymore.
Yeah, the thing is, you solved your problem and you transferred it to Phil.
It's true. Yeah, I gave him some bad
you just sent the vibes over there. That's what happened.
I might lose it tonight. I might have to just walk into my living room and do this.
You either that or try doing it on your phone. Just go to your phone and do it. And just don't be on Wi-Fi. Sometimes that helps. If you have decent
cellular data.
Yeah, if you have, everybody's got unlimited now, and I think you're good. But yeah, hop out and come back in on your phone.
I will in a bit. Let's give it one more chance because I know my kids are crushing something on Netflix right now.
Very good.
But I'm just really excited, like, for these figs. Like, this is the time of year where a lot of these figs ripen, and it's pretty awesome. Even rejuvenation prune, they happen. But my citrus, hardy citrus, Satsumas are ripening. My yuzu, it's ready to pick, but like, I'm letting it sit there a little bit and get ripe. And then I got some Tangelos that are ripening too. So this is great.
I got an Instagram comment over here. Do figs grow in the Northeast U.S.? Yes. KM Polito. Phil is actually in North Carolina, and there are a large variety of figs that will grow in the Northeast.
I would say I wouldn't even count
yeah.
myself Northeast. Maybe a Texan would,
Right.
but I would say like I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so our west of Philadelphia, and you can
Born
do
and
some
raised.
hair. Yeah, Amish country, man, and in
On the
Philadelphia.
playground is where I spend most of my days.
And I would say yes, you can absolutely just do some wrapping techniques, and you want to do some winter protection. Keep them in containers. My parents have 6 trees. They're in zone 6B, and they have 6 trees. They just push them into the garage in the wintertime, bring them out after the last frost, and we'll go from there.
They do really well in containers. I mean, they will do. She says she's in New York, so yeah, you can keep them in containers forever. I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Just
I know people that have them in containers in Boston. I lived there for a little bit. Even there's an in-ground tree in Cambridge, and you just would wrap it in burlap and tarp in the winter and protect it, and then unwrap it in the spring. So people go to great lengths, but it's worth it.
I wonder if that method that people do with bananas, where they make like a little ring out of like fence and then fill like the little ring with hay. You seen that, Des?
Yeah, I have.
I bet that would work with figs too if you cut it back and just like insulate it with something like that.
Yeah,
I bet you
would.
Yeah.
Here, plant them in the ground and they don't die back.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It was like ripped, but it was like shoved under the couch.
And they probably really benefit from the well draining soil and everything. And they don't care about like limestone or whatever. I was up in Marble Falls, and they're like, oh yeah, in Austin they've got limestone like a foot down. We've got granite. And like, it was nuts, dude. I was up there, and the place I was at was called Backbone Valley Nursery. Shout out to Backbone Valley. They're a family-owned business, and they sell big trees. Like they sell little trees, but they also sell big trees, like dump truck size trees. I saw a guy show up with literally like a dump truck and had to get the truck in the dump truck and hauled it off. But they have to, like, when they go plant a tree in the ground, they have to like bring a jackhammer along with them, because they'll try to find a good spot, but like they're digging, hammering. Sometimes they can find a soft spot, but not always, you know.
Yep.
No, and granite is way harder than limestone.
Oh yeah.
And limestone is, you could have an instance of like well water, versus granite is just straight igneous plutonic type sill or dike that just is impenetrable. Yeah,
apparently it's not great for tumbling. I picked up a bunch of rocks when I was out there, and like apparently it's not great for tumbling unless you just have a tumbler of just granite. Apparently it's so hard they can mess up other rocks.
So hard.
Yeah. So
there's a scale. It's called the Moore's hardness scale in geology, and you can go out. So you can find out what's the hardest and what's the softest.
Right. Right. Yep. Yeah, because I know if you throw too much stuff together. I follow this guy on Instagram or YouTube called Michigan Rock or Michigan Stone or whatever, and he's like he opens up his little cabinet. He's got like 20 or 30 like tumblers going at one time. But he goes like to the Great Lakes and finds stuff on the Great Lakes. Like, it's a good spot.
If you guys want to go on a quick geology journey, it always reminds me of if you go to the tops of the mountains in Pennsylvania, you actually find harder, like a lot of, and you do this if you go to the Tongue Range of Adirondack. Some of these mountains are so broken down that you find stuff that would be like granite like that is supposed to be deep underground. That's where it was formed, kind of thing. And then it gets shoved up and you get these mountain ranges, right? But then things can break down over time, and then you actually get different sediment layers that were originally found on the bottom of the mountains at the top. And the mountain ranges are secondary mountain ranges because the sedimentation has happened and the breaking down of these mountain ranges. So you look like the Allegheny Mountains are actually like a secondary mountain range from the original mountain range that was there, which is why the Susquehanna River cuts through the mountains rather than running in between them like a ravine.
That is so cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
Anyway, it can do a lot for, like, you know, geology plays a big role in the gardening world. Destin, you and I talked about this too. And maybe Des, we were on a different podcast, we talked about it, but we talk about the furthest extent of glaciation. If you look at glacial maximum historically and in geologic records basically goes down to the cusp of Pennsylvania, and a lot of the best farmland is right in that area, because you realize that like a lot of the melting and first of all the pushing of the ice scoured the land and pushed all those rich nutrients there, and all those minerals that got pushed out, and as the glaciers receded and all that running water that came off deposited all those rich minerals right there. So a lot of good farmland is right on glacial maximum.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
I love science. I love science.
I love hearing about stuff like that. Well, I mean, me and Phil, we got in a rabbit hole while he was here, and we were watching like people finding fossils and teeth, like shark teeth, like down in Florida. And so me and my wife found a creek up by our parents' house, and we went up there and we dug around and sifted for like probably 2 or 3 hours, and we didn't find any fossils, but we did find like, you know, broken glass, you know, bottle tops, some cool. We got a bucket of cool rocks to tumble, but you got to really understand where you're at, because like there's a lot of sandstone. The sandstone does not. Sandstone just turns into sand when you tumble it. Apparently, like,
sure does.
Correct. Yeah,
sure does. That's the thing.
Yes. It just turns into sandstone. What's up, Barrett? We got Barrett in the chat on Instagram. What's going on, man? Gotta go see him next time I'm in the Kerrville area. He's up there.
But Destin, what about your garden? Where's your garden at right now?
Yeah.
We're in a transition mode right now. Like I said, I'm getting ready to add another greenhouse. I got a 10x8 hard plastic greenhouse that I'm going to be adding to the backyard. So I had to move a raised bed. Oh, my lights just started.
Exciting.
So I had to move some raised beds, which I made a cool video because I had actually heard some conflicting data when I installed those 2 raised beds that I had to move one of them. It was 5 or 6 years ago, whenever the hugelkultur trend was like real hot and popping, just coming out, you know, it was getting real popular on social. And I had installed some really big logs at like the bottom third of that 17-inch tall raised bed. And so when I started digging in there, you know, I would feel it when I was, you know, planting stuff. I could feel how deep I could go. And I didn't think it would have broken down as much as it did. But when I started, you know, I got down to like the bottom quarter of the raised bed before I pulled the whole thing up. And a lot of the wood had broken down. I was surprised at it because some people had said it doesn't. I did have like 1 or 2 like really large logs that hadn't fully broken down, but they were acting as homes for cockroaches and, you know, spiders and all kinds of stuff. And it was rotting. It just hadn't rotted. So I probably will continue that method in the future, probably using smaller size log. If I use logs, I mean, I would say no bigger than an inch in diameter. But I like the mulch. I like using mulch too. Mulch is a good option. That strawberry bed, I did like half of that, like pine bark chunks, like the chunks, you know, not even really processed that well. And it's done pretty well for my strawberries. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so moving some raised beds, like I said, in the process, the bottom layer of the fence was rotten. So I've got to get some 2x4s and some pickets to replace a section of fence tomorrow. But it's just getting to that time of year where it's, you know, starting to cool down a little bit so we can do a couple things. I need to transplant a bunch of stuff. Got a bunch of fig trees and fruit trees and stuff that it's, you know, I got some Texas sage. I did that video where I cut down those ornamentals in the front flower bed. I've had those 4 white Texas sages sitting on my front patio. I've been waiting to plant when it cools down. So I want to get that planted. So lots of projects, just trying to find the time. Y'all know how it is. I mean, it's
yeah, for sure. Especially this time of year when you're processing like all the stuff going on, and like but you know what I like about your garden, Destin, and please don't freeze, Phil, is I love how modular it is. So it's organized, but when we were there, I was like, it's all configured.
But here's the thing, Phil.
Configured. And then we could. Oh man, you're throwing my ADHD.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know. It's like really. That's my hardest thing with being in school right now is just keeping my ADHD on track. Golly, it's hard.
It's tough when you're from home because like I like parallel play where I like in the classroom with others, keeps me engaged too. So when I have to do it by myself at home, it's really tricky. So kudos to you. You got this, Des. But then But yeah, Dustin, you can just be like, I'm going to move this bed here, and you do this cool Tetris configuration. You're like, and that's where the greenhouse is going to go. I'm like, that's awesome. So
Mhm.
Yeah,
sometimes smaller raised beds are better
for
because
sure.
of that flexibility to be able to move around. If you got the same, you're still going 12 to 18-inch depth beds, but why don't you just keep them shorter and you can move around with them? And I thought that was really enlightening when I was hanging out with you. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a small space, like I haven't been to your backyard, Phil, but I've seen Dez's. Dez's got a pretty decent sized yard. She got a pretty decent sized yard.
I do.
And when you got a small yard and you're trying to grow as much as I can, like I'm kind of limited on what I can do. So everything has to be modular. You kind of got to figure out what works the best. Like those smaller raised beds, those little circle ones are like 24-inch wide. Those are almost pointless for me now, unless I've got like a tree. Unless I'm using them as like a tree ring where I'm gonna plant something inside of them, like permanently. As a raised bed, they dry out too quick. Because on the edge of those metal raised beds, it heats up and the edges dry out faster.
Mhm.
And so if it's just one little 24-inch circle, they dry out way too fast. So nothing less than a 2 to 4 foot bed is going to work for me in my space. So
Right.
it's just learning about learn about what works for you and having everything. I don't have anything permanent. Nothing is permanent in my house.
Also, it's just like having an intimate
Nothing is
knowledge
permanent
of
in life.
your space and how your individual garden handles the sun and moisture and everything, and how plants work best in your space. That's like the biggest lesson I think for any gardener, is like building that intimacy with your space and learning how each corner behaves differently.
Oh yeah, I learned a lot of hard lessons this year putting beds underneath trees and not getting the results I wanted.
Yeah.
But then others surprised me.
It works. Surprisingly, under trees is nice, except for like if you're like an oak tree, you're going to have little saplings pop up, and you can shade them out for certain things. But for me, I wish I had more trees in my backyard that were taller to shade stuff, because I just have too much sun. I get too much sunlight.
Me too.
That's true. Gesundheit. I get a lot of shade under this water oak that just really takes up the time, like a lot of the sunlight, where even my green onions are getting a little like and like, but there's other things that surprised me, where like right next to those are bok choy. The bok choy is like, I'm cool here, I'll do my thing, and my oregano's like, please, this is what I've been wanting the whole time. And I was like, great, more oregano here. Guys, I just did a really sweet rabbit hole adventure. So I got tea plants. I got 3 of them.
TI
Korean variety. TEA, like the tea, like Camellia sinensis.
Oh yeah.
Tea plant. So where green tea, black tea, and white tea come from, and oolong tea, because those are all from the same plant, but they only differ in processing when you harvest the leaves and the brewing process.
What? I did not know that.
It's interesting.
Poor guy froze again.
Could you please elaborate, Phil?
Yeah. Please tell us more. There you are.
Are you gonna start another channel called TT Phil?
I may have to. I'm Mouse Rat claiming that right now.
Already taken.
It's already taken.
Scarecrow boat.
Scarecrow boat. So, but the tea plant is a camellia plant, and it flowered because it's camellia. It's like the sasanquas and the japonicas, and dare I say it, the reticulated. Anyway, but you grow them to a certain size, and then you harvest the new growth for those tea leaves, and how you steam them, or how you dry them, or smoke them, or however makes your black, your white, your green, or your oolong tea. It's all the same, but it's all from the fresh top few leaves. So I'm going to make a hedge, because you know what? They love humid, hot weather. Awesome. They survive down to zone 8, even in Maryland, zone 7B, I saw in some places. And then they love partially dappled light or shaded areas, so they can grow as a middle story or understory. And so, dude, I'm so Coach Chavi. It's so true. Today's the day. This is just icing on the cake for my week. So
it's so funny. that people talk about camellias like they're heat tolerant. I cannot keep a camellia alive. I've tried to keep them,
No.
dude. Texas
They-
hot is different. Texas hot must just be different because, like, even when I go to Louisiana, I go to
100%.
Mississippi, Florida, they all have camellias. They all sell camellias at all the nurseries. They just don't grow here. I've got one right here. I've got one in. I bought it in
They're
Dallas.
They're not gonna like full sun. Actually, at my hobby greenhouse club, we always have a speaker every month. We had
Mine's a full
a
shade.
specialist come in, and is it? So
Yeah.
there's a Goldilocks zone for them because they don't want to be too cold either. And people here in North Carolina love them because japonicas are March when everything else isn't flowering. In February, March, they're flowering. This is
Fun facts. And while Phil's frozen, we need like a little thing that says frozen Phil. I did a little deep dive. Do you know what japonica means? Japonica is it means Japanese variety.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
That's what japonica means.
like
He's
persimmons,
back.
Japanese and American. I'm back. You guys are so patient with me because I'm not having it. But
I
anyway,
used to do it. I used to have me too.
and yeah, you gave me the itis. You gave me the garden party blip, and
Hey, that's a real thing. Don't talk
Sasanquas
about
are
that.
ripening in the fall. Well, too late. We're a little late for that.
So, Phil,
Just do a round of antibiotics. You should be fine.
so
Perfect.
how many feet of a hedge of these are you going to plant? Do you think?
I don't know.
What's your
I don't
ideal?
know, Des.
That's so
I don't
exciting.
know. They're slightly susceptible to root knot nematode, so I have to be mindful of that. I do have it in my yard a little bit. So where I want to put them, I was going to put one in between each raised bed because I have 4, and I have 4 spaces right in that dappled light. And so I'll try a few varieties. I got this Korean one. I got the 2 Japanese variety or Chinese varieties, and I might get another one. There's one from that grows in like the Georgian Russian border around there. That's also a hardy tea plant. So let's try it out. Let's see how it is. I found out that Charleston, South Carolina has a tea place, and there's a tea businesses down that ways too, because it's an ideal climate for them if you're in the understory. So I'm really excited to dive into that and grow my own fresh tea and just have it. But a lot of tropical regions grow it because, and this is me, I was my rabbit hole last night on YouTube, my ability to hyperfocus. There it is. See, it's one of them's flowering right now.
Beautiful.
You don't want the woody growth. You don't on those leaves. You want the fresh green leaves that you harvest. You pick those, like the top 2 or 3 with the green stems, and they just shave them off and they process them.
That's awesome.
That's where it all comes from. Anyway,
That's so neat.
I just don't like. I was thinking, it's another one of those aha moments. Like that's it. That's all it takes to get it. Then I'm going to do that. And
tea is a general term. You can make tea out of anything. I mean, you can make
correct,
but
like the tea plant.
But, like,
and there's another variety that's
tea.
Indian, right? Like if I want to get if I get some sweet deal where all of a sudden I have a bunch and I make my own matcha and I just know that it's right there. Or I just grab it off the leaves and I throw it in my dehydrator, and the next day I just have a batch and I drink it while watching my tea plants grow. Like that's a gardener's brain inside and out, right? And
is it caffeinated?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Not in the same quantities that like coffee is,
Right.
but mind you, like everything's a percentage by volume and roasted and condensed over time. That's why like green tea has X amount of caffeine, matcha has 10 times that or whatever, right? But the tea plant not only does it have caffeine in it, but it has L-theanine in it. And L-theanine is a calming property that's actually good for people that get anxiety, and so it gives you the focus without the jitters, right? So L-theanine is really good for that, and it's good for ADHD brains. And I don't think L-tyrosine's in it, but that's another good amendment that I've learned about following some neuroscientists. But yeah, L-theanine is in green tea, so you get the.
I just had to fact check this because I thought I knew the answer, but I wanted to verify. The only native plant to Texas that is caffeinated is the Yopon holly. That is the
We have that here. We have it here in North Carolina too.
Yep, is the only native Texas plant that has naturally occurring caffeine in it. So can you make a tea out of Yopon holly? I wonder.
Yeah,
You can. That's interesting.
I mean, that's the only way they would know. They would only know that.
Or is
I mean,
it
I
the-
guess if they made some, I don't know. I'll look it up.
Look it up. Because I think Wellspring Gardens sells it. Because they sell like a
Interesting.
caffeinating mix. Because you can get yerba mate, but that's very tropical.
I just learned so many new things. I'm learning so many new things today.
Thanks, YouTube. Because I learned that last night on
YouTubies.
YouTube, and I
so-
regurgitated it here.
So it has caffeine and antioxidants. Is that a common thing? If it has caffeine, it has antioxidants. Is that because I know that's with the tea, right? Too, right?
Not necessarily, but like
No.
coffee has a lot of antioxidants. Coffee is really healthy for you, except for the processing if it gets moldy, and except for when people put all the other things in coffee. Right? It's true black coffee that's brewed from clean sources is actually pretty good and has a lot of those antioxidants and anthocyanins that you see in things. But same with green teas, same with I'm sure Yupon and all those things.
So you do it the same way. You do the exact same way you're talking about with the camellia. You just dry the fresh leaves, then crumble them, and
do you know what else grows native here? The bay leaves and bay trees.
Ooh, I have a bay tree in the backyard. I need to get it in the ground.
So
It's like
you can win native and it's got and herbs. So
the only reason I brought up that native thing is because when I was in Austin, ironically, I was at a native plant talk. Shocker, right? At the TNLA event, and he was talking about how he does the horticulture department for City of Kyle, and they're only doing native plants in Kyle, like in their public works. Like it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't. That makes sense. I mean, it's going to cost I mean, I don't know. Native plants don't cost much more money. It just depends. The thing we got into, we're trying to figure out where the state of Texas is so large that the term native plant is kind of a little bit of a misnomer, because yes, it's native to Texas, but is it native to Austin? Is it native to Houston? You know,
well,
so
this
like
is where those eco regions come in. This is where you have your eco regions, because we have 11 different eco regions here in Texas. And so something like where Destin is, it's very subtropical. He can grow a lot of things that we can't grow here in Austin. And some areas, like if you go towards New Mexico, it's more arid out there. So what's native to that area or hardier in that area is different than what is, in our area. And for Kyle in particular, because they are in a water crisis, they don't have enough water for their residents. They really are trying to take a different approach and plant more native things and more rain gardens and things in their landscapes. So that way they're not using our precious resource, which is water, because this area of Texas is really hurting for water. It's Austin, it's San Marcos, it's, Kyle, it's the whole surrounding area. So I think it's really cool that they're doing that.
It's, so when we talked about, maybe we need to develop a better system of native, adaptability, like recommendations, rather than just calling it in Texas. Well, it's native, but it also grows local. Because I walked around Pedernales State Park. I got lost in Pedernales State Park, actually. I walked about 3 miles more than I was expecting to. So I went down a horse path, but I didn't see any Texas sage growing. I didn't see any Esperanza growing. I didn't see any Turk's cap. I didn't see any rock rose. I saw a lot of I saw a lot of Texas. What do they call it? It looks like an agave. It is an agave technically, but God, it's what it's called. It's like a razor looking leaf.
Century plant.
Well, they make tequila out of it. But it's
agave then.
But it's cenote or smite. I forget what it's called. But anyway, it wasn't much growing at all. And that was kind of the argument, like with some of the landscapers, was like, we want to grow native Texas plants, but problem is they don't look good year round. Some of these other ones are a little more adaptable in a certain sense than some of the native plants in this area. So it was weird.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
You got to if you start having more natives in your landscape, you really have to get down with the seasonality of them, because they aren't going to look good. Oh, so tall.
Yes.
They aren't going to look good year round. They're going to have like their seasons, you know. Some things will look good in the spring and they'll look good in the fall, but in the summer they're going to be more in a semi-dormant period, because they're saving their energy, right? So that's one thing that I think that's hard for a lot of people to adjust to when you're thinking about, you know, native plants, is that there are going to be periods where they may not look so hot, and there may be another plant that could take its place in that time. So when you're planning out these beds with native plants, then there you think about that. Like, do they have like a mid-season dormancy that I need to think about? Yeah. I'm actually, my big winter project this year, because last year it was the vegetable garden, is going to be my pollinator gardens. I'm basically going to be ripping them out and adding in a whole bunch more new soil. And I'm going to be really planning out my garden beds and tackling this problem, because the last couple of years, my pollinator gardens, they've got native plants in them, but they've taken a huge hit because of the drought that we've been in and the extreme heat we've been under. So it's just time for me to do a full refresh. And I'm really excited about it, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun to puzzle this out and see, you know, where it might lead. And I'm going to be posting videos about it too. I'm planning to do a whole thing.
I think it's cool.
One quick note before I forget. So that Texas native, the Sotol, was really cool. I was talking to one of the park rangers. Or no, I was at OG Agave in Austin, and he was talking about Sotol. So tequila or is it tequila? What is it? Tequila can only be called tequila if it's from a certain region in Mexico.
It's a type of mezcal.
And it's a certain area. So like all mezcals are tequilas, but not all tequilas are mezcals, right?
Other way around.
Yes. And so Sotol can be made, all agaves can be made into a tequila mezcal.
A type of mezcal.
Yes. And so that's what that is. So I actually have a bottle of that in my closet.
Cool.
I've never tried it though. I've smelled it and it smells like moonshine. It smells pretty wild, man. It's but maybe I need to try it some more. But yeah, one of the recommendations the guy was talking about, really good speaker. I think his name was, I got his name, but he was talking about try to make 70% of your landscape native. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, 70%. I mean, it's for some people that's probably, especially in areas where they're in a water crisis. Yes, 100%. You know, yeah. I didn't know a lot of stuff about native grasses, like muley grasses. I didn't know that certain pollinators go to them. I didn't know a lot of that. So that was interesting to hear that. It makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of people forget, because we've got urbanization and stuff, but we've got native prairie land here in Texas, and that prairie land is ecologically important for a lot of different species of animals, you know. That includes coyotes and deer and skunks and snakes and all of these things that really rely on native grasslands in order to thrive. And so when you think about what thrives on these prairie lands, what's still green at certain points of the year, and what handles the dormancy through drought, that's where you need to look for, you know, what should maybe my grass be rather than, you know, Bermuda or something.
And it's so funny because I had to look it up again, the hackberry emperor butterfly. I was at another state park yesterday at Brazos State Park, and it literally just sat there and posed for me. Let me take a picture. But I was doing some research when I posted it, and it was like, yes, the larvae feed on the hackberry tree, but the butterflies themselves do not actually go after nectar. They don't go nectar of like flowers or anything. They actually hang out on dung, like on animal poop. And then also they'll go after you if you're perspiring, if you're sweating. And so that's why he was coming towards me, because I was sweating my butt off. So it was kind of interesting, but it's cool that, you know, not all butterflies are going like for the flowers and stuff. It's interesting to think about. I always thought it had to have a flower, but I guess not. It's
This is my
interesting.
butterfly poo garden. This is made by Duke.
Yeah, oh, he's been making his own bonds. He's been making his own garden out there today. God, he was landmining me today. It was bad. It was like I was in freaking Borneo. It was like it was bad. I feel like I was in Myanmar. But yeah, no. I had some weird interactions in Austin with some folks. Like every time I go to Austin, I meet some different people and hear some different like different. No, well, I'm in a field where people have very strong opinions about stuff that I wouldn't normally think about. So we were at that Backbone Valley Nursery, and one of my friends, Nessa, she works for Microlife. She came by and she brought an arborist, who was interesting, very nice guy. They had a clearance on some of their Japanese maples, which I got like 2 for like $30, which like were 50% off, which is kind of nice. But I had told the guy, and he was kind of interested. And I had never heard anybody say that bonsai was torture for plants before. And that one kind of threw me for a loop. I'd never actually, that thought had never entered my brain once ever. But it's different. Like you go to different places, talk to different people, you're going to hear different like opinions on things that you probably haven't heard before. And so that one kind of like threw me for a loop. I was like, I don't think I've ever heard that.
That made my brain go like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about it.
I mean, initially, so this is my messed up brain, right? So my first reaction was I kind of didn't acknowledge because I thought it was so harebrained. I was like, I'm not even gonna respond to that because I don't know how to. But after thinking about it for a second, I was like, let's take for a second that plants do have a mind of their own, that they're sentient beings that feel pain, feel tortured by having the roots constricted. If they have that sentientness of themselves, how do we know that they don't enjoy being bound and tied up pot? If they do have some kind of cognizance of what's going on, who are we?
Maybe not all.
Who are we to presume that they don't enjoy being tied up and bound watching, I mean, you
have to also consider,
you
also have to consider that like every container plant you grow has an element of bonsai practice to it. And a espalier is a bonsai practice. Like anything you're like, oh, it's getting too big for the container, I'll prune it. Like that's a bonsai practice to keep it in a manageable size. Now there's like, obviously, so it's almost like a spectrum of like, if you really want to constrict everything it's got to trick it into thinking to make it look like this old growth tree that it lives 80 years in this like compartmentalized tiny thing, like maybe, but
yeah,
I don't know. You can't go into thinking like pan-dimensional being like, oh yeah, the trees like I don't have the same sentient existence that we do, like personality wise, even looking at tree ants from Lord of the Rings, you wouldn't be like, they wouldn't think like, oh crap, this is gonna be a horrible commute now that I'm bonsai'd,
Right. Well,
I'm
and then also
really sitting here thinking about this so hard right now with my plant science brain.
I mean,
you would
like starting to think about this xylem and
you wouldn't kill all these peppers as annuals and be like, oh wait, they're perennials. Maybe I'm just doing a mass killing of my peppers every year. How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go?
Is pruning amputation? Is taking the fruit off? Is it like stealing someone's baby? I mean,
okay.
Is it,
I have something fun.
I love Phil's pose.
Have you ever heard of what is, I believe it's the world's largest organism called Pando, and it is one single stand of trees in Utah. I believe it's in Utah, that is all connected together, and it's all one organism. And right now is like a peak viewing time of them because they're going through fall colors. It's incredibly beautiful.
It's like the banyan trees in India.
Pando. And let me see. It's a clonal colony of quaking aspen in Utah, considered one of the largest and oldest living organisms on Earth. And what appears to be a forest of thousands of individual trees is actually a single organism connected by a massive ancient root system.
Yeah, it's just
And
all
the
one
root
big
system is
thing.
estimated to be thousands of years old, with some estimates reaching up to 80,000 years, while individual trunks typically live for about 100 to 130 years before being replaced by new ones. I
Yeah,
want to
I
go
mean,
see this so bad.
yeah. Well, so something like this, it's just a forest.
It's not,
I mean,
though. It clarifies that this is actually not. It appears to be a forest, but it's actually a clonal colony of trees. And
well,
so
clonal colony indicates that there's individuals that are just the same DNA, right? Because like
this
because like in India, like they talk about stories about Alexander the Great when he went to go try to invade India, he encountered like the banyan forest, and those are actually all one individual tree that are figs that have it's just they look like a bunch of trees, but it's one plant, it's one tree, right? Phil, you know what I'm
right,
talking
this
about,
is
right?
what this is.
Yep. But I think that
I don't
this
think
is
it's the same
actually
thing though.
supposed to. This is a
This
connected
is,
root system.
yes, it
So you would
is.
have to
So
look and be
this,
like, is it all sustaining itself as one superorganism that has same genetic makeup? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I did some research on
basically
this.
they're all suckers. So look it up. It's
right
actually
there.
it's actually a thing. It's really cool. But basically it's like suckers that come up from one root system. It's really awesome. It's really cool. So if you want to go down a really fun rabbit hole and read about something really neat that may not be around forever, because they're saying it's showing signs of decline, go check it out. It's one of the coolest things ever,
Well,
in my opinion.
and that was another question I had from that native plant talk, because one of the things that people discuss, is the warming and the cooling and everything like that. So like if the earth is warming, whether people have their own beliefs, whether it's people, the world has
You want to
changed
ask that
temperatures.
studied this for his graduate research?
Yes, but let me premise the question though before I have you answer it scientifically. So say the world is warming, say the world is warming, cooling, whatever you believe.
It's cyclical.
Yes. Would that certain species, like say the panda, if we didn't exist, the panda would have gone extinct? Like the panda is an idiot.
So there's a really good book on this called The Sixth Extinction, and it talks about acute speciation as a success of like biodiversity. And hybridization is a sign of extinction, because you're having hybridization for across multiple like environments. So they talk about like wolf coyote hybrids, they talk about different species of birds, and having acute speciation where like this bird's beak is designed just for this seed from this tree that's root systems connected in Utah, right? So like, and it's flourishing, good, because that's a good sign. But like when things like this are receding or not doing well, that can happen in waves too, where like, oh, the past 10 years it's been receding, and we can tell by like, I don't know, the dendrochronology of the healthier trees. You can see that the growth rings are smaller. Or you could have other parts of it, like depending on how big it is, you're gonna have to ask like a tree biologist about that part. But from global climate change,
Cliffhanger. Now, my question was, would certain things be going extinct regardless?
Yeah, extinction is always happening. The whole book premise is that we're actually in the sixth extinction out of the 5. There's been 5 major extinctions. Yeah. And it's so hard to grasp how extinction events happen, because people can't grasp 1 million years, let alone 64 million of them, let alone 225 million. Like,
it's the time horizon problem. It's the time horizon problem.
Yeah,
it's the future
and
problem.
I know we're going
it's
off
a collective
the rails,
action problem that is hard to get everyone on board to solve, because everybody has a different opinion of how it is or is not affecting their life personally. And so there's just so many
variables.
deep. Yes,
The big question is and this is what we talked about, this is graduate school, are things anthropogenic or not? Are we contributing to
course.
global warming or not? And then the rapid adjustment of it. And then also yes, it is happening naturally. Yes, it is happening anthropogenically. How do we adapt to it? So we just got to think about that and not just pray that it's all just going to reset, or we'll just like zip over to Mars and figure it out over there. But like, I mean, I know this is a very deep metaphysical thing, but there will be undulations, just like you may get snow every 8 years, despite having it twice, lightning struck twice. You might get higher hots and lower lows or colds, and being adaptable and being observant and trying to solve a global crisis starting small. And it's like any sort of like my scientific research, you start with the smallest things and you build out from there. So I always tell people this, like, if you have energy crisis, you got to find the most sustainable for like your local space and then build out from there. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's it.
I think we did. I think we definitely have an ego when it comes to it too. I mean, you said it. What, 220 million years the Earth has been around? There's been extinction events.
No, that's just the Mesozoic. So that's the
Yeah.
Paleozoic to the Mesozoic, like PT boundary extinction, which killed. That was the largest extinction. It was larger than when the dinosaurs went out. It killed everything, like before the dinosaurs. Right? There's a really cool nerdy geology book. We talked about protosaurs that are like the evolution of the dinosaur into being a dinosaur and what distinguishes it from other animals and things. And I don't think anyone's read it except for people in the geo world. But
that Morgan Freeman documentary on Netflix is the one that freaked me out. It got me nervous because he was talking like every episode was an extinction event, and it was a real.
I didn't watch that, but like that's kind of eye-opening, right? I always joke around and tell people like we're closer in time to a T-Rex than a T-Rex is to a Stegosaurus, just on the scale of time. And you can't even conceptualize that. Like they estimated like when the dinosaurs were around, the constellations were completely different because you were in a different quadrant or other side of the galaxy because your galaxy is doing one whole rotation, right? Where we are in the Milky Way. So it's so crazy on size to even think about that. Like, can we even conceptualize 60,000 years ago? No, I have a hard time.
Absolutely not. Heck no.
Well, it seems like, obviously we should all do our part to like, do recycle and, all the good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a little egotistical of us as a human race to think that we have so much control over a world, a universe that's been changing on its own for billions of years. That we make that much difference. Like stuff is going to change regardless.
That's the whole alarm is that we are
contribute.
Like you talk about people mining, right? So you talk about people pulling the quantity of oil that we're pulling out. So like we looked at like air bubbles in ice, and you look at geologic records that talk about carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere from when there weren't ice caps to when there were, and global.
I heard an argument against this yesterday, though, on carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide isn't necessarily an indicator of that, though, because they said that the Earth is greener than it has ever been with the higher carbon dioxide than we've ever had before. That the Earth is actually greener now than it was when we had lower carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
How far back in time?
That is another Joe Rogan episode.
That's a very
Joe Rogan
important
episode.
It is very important distinction about how far back in time.
The main theme of the episode was that there may be some involvement by us as humans, but there's a lot of other factors at play when it comes to the awareness and the business of ecology, like of solar panels and things like that.
I mean,
there's a lot of money.
Big point. Yeah, well, obviously there always is, but there's also a really big point on Milankovitch cycles, which are orbital eccentricities around the sun. So we actually don't orbit in a uniform circle as much as we think. There are times where we're closer to the sun and farther from the sun, and then we have axial tilt eccentricity.
Oh, I hate it when he freezes. This is good stuff. I love it when he uses big words.
Yeah, me too.
We're going back and forth.
Eccentricities.
So, eccentricities.
Eccentricities.
So we're getting off the rails a little bit because I want to talk more about plants and
Sorry.
figs.
I'm sorry.
We do have to.
Actually, I read this in my fig book.
I
I read this in my fig book because this is why figs are one of the best ever, because every time they get caprified and they spread their seeds, it's a whole new genetic makeup every single seed. Boom, diversity. And so that's one of the most adaptable. It's one of the most adaptable, and it's in that figs book. And the figs, what's it called? The title? It's on my nightstand, and it talks about just splaying it all out there, and that's why it's been so resilient through all the times, is because it's constantly adapting to the environment around it.
I was going to add just one thing. So if the earth has the ability to recover and it has figured out what to do with all of this waste that we have around, when you think about like dinosaurs and prehistoric things that have broken down in order to make our fossil fuels, which is
the dinosaurs
our solution.
didn't do that. The Carboniferous period did that.
Well, the Carboniferous period, but you know what I'm saying. If the earth has developed the system in order to take care of these things that are broken down into fossil fuels, and we have them in these reservoirs that are supposed to be in the earth, but then we're releasing them back into the atmosphere again.
It's it'll all get reset. Because the earth, this is a really fun geology fact, right? Is that the earth breaks all this stuff down. Oxidation is a really important factor in breaking things down, even inert things. And then we also have what not is our tectonic plates through plate boundaries and ascending the crust into the mantle and resetting all of that stuff. So it all just cycles through.
But I think a lot of the issues we have is from a lot of just overpopulation. Like, I mean, when people talk about wildfires, the guy in Kyle, he was wanting to have controlled burns on certain things. You know, wildfires are a natural occurring phenomenon. They've happened over millions of years. The problem is we're in the way. It's supposed to happen.
And they highlight that with plants, right? They're like, hey, these plants need a burn for them to release their seed pods and germinate, right?
The problem is there's just too many of us here, probably. I guess the biggest issue.
Or we're settling in the wrong spots and we're not living under sustainable practices in these areas. We're looking for one blanket cookie cutter house with an environment, and we need to think about maybe don't build where there's historic forest. Like, it's not like when the Japanese tsunami happened and they had those stones and they.
Oh no! Here he goes again.
It's not me. It's not me this time.
Oh man, I really want him to finish this sentence. There he is.
The Japanese stone, Japanese rocks.
Oh no, there he goes. Oh my gosh. Oh no. He fried the internet with his science knowledge.
Oh yeah, we're talking about climate, so they're throttling our stream. I'm sorry, Phil. I think he might be out of orbit. That's what someone said.
Yeah. Oh well.
He'll be like, say, look, he's sneezing right now. Let's say he's about to sneeze.
He does look like he's about to sneeze.
I hope he's okay. Well,
I'm sure
he wanted to get back to gardening, so we'll get back to gardening. Anyway, I think he's I'm gonna pop him out and hope he'll come back in.
Yeah. Maybe that'll reset.
Plants. So you talk about redoing your native pollinator area. I like your setup. I love your setup. I know one of the ones that you have issues with is the passion vine, where it kind of is growing like wildfire in your backyard.
I don't really mind that it's like going crazy back there, though. Honestly, I have the space for it to do that, and I like it being wild. And sometimes, this is going to be a whole thing, but there's years where the passion vine does better in one spot than it does in another. And that could be like whether it's like supporting butterflies as far as like raising them, or whether the plant itself is thriving or not. And so I'm okay with that. My main problem is that all the extra stuff like the milkweed and the other native things that I've planted have not been thriving anymore because the soil level is probably a little too low. I really need to rework it. And also, I just really need to get some good keystone plants into my garden because I don't have a lot that is providing like a little bit more shade for these areas because my garden can't handle what it used to be able to because it has gotten hotter in my little spot. I'm pretty close to, in a way, the highway, and they've taken up a lot of the grass there, which has added extra heat in my little ecosystem. And so it's just time. And also I'm a little smarter and I'm a little wiser about my gardening endeavors these days, so I think that I would do a much better job at putting it together now versus like when I first started. So like this year, my vegetable garden, redoing that was a game changer for me. The garden did so much better this year. It looks better. I can navigate the garden better. So I'm really looking forward to redoing it. I think it's going to be a lot better. And I want to see a lot more butterflies and stuff back there again.
I wish after going to that place, there's a couple. There's one in Austin. The Great Outdoors is pretty good, but the place in San Antonio, Pollen Natives, that place is fantastic. Because I mean, when you think of native plants like here in Texas, you think of like a couple. Like you think of like the lay person is gonna think like Texas sage, Esperanza. But when I was there were so many cool options. Green sleeves up in Pflugerville, they're another good one. But Pollen Natives probably had the biggest selection of native plants, and they were all in 1 gallon pots, which was really nice because they're easy to plant. Right now, it's the best time to plant stuff. So, like, if I were you, and if you make it anywhere that way, I would go to Pollen Natives. That's a good spot. Or even, like I said, go see Willie up at Greensleeves.
This Saturday, I'm going with my friend to the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center for a native plant sale. Also, did you see that message I sent you just a second ago, or just a little bit ago?
The native plant map?
Yeah,
Yes.
pop that up there so we can show people what we mean when Texas has 11 ecoregions. I think it's really interesting.
Yes, and also I want to say so this Saturday, Greensleeves has a guy it's gonna be there. His name on YouTube is Crime Pays a Botany Doesn't, and he's doing a talk at Greensleeves, and he is a big native plant person, a big personality, and he hates grass. I think the talk is how to kill your lawn. So
mine is dead right now.
Yeah,
it gave up.
Yeah, but if you're there, go check out Greensleeves this Saturday because he's doing a really cool talk. Yeah, so this is the map. Oh.
Yeah. Scroll all the way. There you go. Go down a little. All right, and then if you zoom in some. Possible. This map is super cool if you're in Texas and you don't know about this map. It has it broken up here, and it even tells you what each ecoregion is called. And so this website, Native Plant Society of Texas, if you want information about native plants, is a really great place to go. But you could see how many different ecoregions we have here.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
That ecoregion's crazy to me. If you go just north of Houston and it goes all the way up and like wraps around. Like,
and even
Oklahoma.
this probably isn't as specific as it could be because like Houston we get a lot of rain. You go south to Corpus, it never rains in Corpus. So like that's almost like a different region by itself. Like this Gulf Coast prairies and marshes could probably be cut into a third or a quarter, to quarters almost. Like there could be sub regions of these regions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. But anyway, back to what I was saying. If we could just go back to climate change. There's a lot of variables, and I think that we just need to start by paying attention to the next 80 years because I live on the coast where I see a lot of beach erosion, and I see a lot of sea level rise and subsidence and all these other variables we don't get to talk about because I start to lose people. But I think a lot of it is that we have the space to be sustainable if we're just conscious about it. And
For sure.
Any positive
But-
action towards trying to be sustainable is a net positive. I
Oh,
know
yeah.
that's simplification there, but it is true.
But
And I
the
think
same sustainable practices happening in Texas aren't going to work for New York City or
No, it's different
Alaska,
everywhere.
right? So it's like, how do you micro focus that if when people want blanket solutions? But you know where it starts? Gardening, because it all
It
comes back
does.
to that.
It
How
does.
how are your fall tomatoes doing, Phil? I know you had transplanted them a while
I
back.
was really
know-
bummed. Am I missing something where they're growing really well, but now the flowers aren't setting fruit and I'm not getting the fruit I want? Like,
What's
do
your
I just
I?
dying
overnight
down.
temperature?
It's just the heat, right? They're not getting the
What's
heat that
your
they want.
what's your
Hmm?
overnight temperature?
Oh, see, we got down to like the high 40s this week.
Oh yeah.
That'll-
Yeah, you're no,
But-
you're done.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Close.
Dude,
I didn't start
so-
them early enough. I've learned so much doing stuff from seed this year. Doing everything from seed, I learned a butt ton about plants. If you guys want to learn a lot and experiment, you definitely want to do it from seed. And that you figure stuff out faster.
But you know what? You could also, Phil, you could probably, because you bought a high tunnel setup, didn't you? Like for your
I
figs.
did. I did.
It's what maybe you could do this. Maybe you could still do this, and because as long as they're not dead, you can trick them back into producing more blooms and fruit. So I mean,
Oh,
you could take that high tunnel and move it over your tomatoes, and increase the heat, and can maybe put some black buckets or black things to keep the heat in the evening and overnight too, and keep them producing, man.
that might be a fun experiment. I might have
Yeah, because
to.
you can always move that stuff around. Because I mean, you're going to do it to overwinter your fig propagations, right?
Yes, because
You
that's
won't
what.
need
Or
to
I'm going to move it around to overwinter my potted figs that I can't put to the. Because there were a few nights where I had to put them into the garage, and I'm just like, that dog ain't going to hunt when I keep growing like this. And that's what I got it for. But I might try. I have some lower. I should try that. That might be a fun experiment,
for
just to
sure.
get that the greenhouse gas effect, the greenhouse
Yeah.
effect.
Or grow some smaller tomatoes and keep them in pots and just keep them in your greenhouse if you got space.
I'm definitely like growing these peppers from seeds. I'm definitely going to overwinter these peppers. I think Bowtie brought it up earlier of overwintering peppers, and that's such a clutch move to do, and it's awesome. God, what was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? Because now that it's not, oh, it's over past 9 already. Guys, garlic. Do you get your garlic in the ground, or is that not yet for you guys? Or
I
you
need to
guys,
put mine
do you
out
guys
now.
do hard neck at all, or are you guys still soft neck only?
Soft neck, right, Dustin?
Well, I did a variety last year. I did overwintered garlic last year, and they just didn't do great for me at all. So I mean, you can either do them over winter or you can do them spring. Like you can do them in the spring and have them. I don't know. It's something that takes such a long time for me until I have like more space and like a raised beds I can just leave alone. Not saying I won't do it, but maybe if I do, I'll have to put a high tunnel on in the freeze because even the hard necks died back for me when I didn't cover them with a frost cloth.
Got it. Because
It's
I
complicated.
think
It is
because
complicated.
despite being
around
like
this.
subtropical where I am, I still get like solid. I remember talking to Jorge. You guys are at like 300 to 350 chill hours for your like for a lot of your
350 to
stone
500.
fruits,
Yeah.
and I'm like 900, but I still grow
Mhm.
palm trees, which is crazy to me. But I can still. I'm on that cusp where I can still get hard neck, or if I want to get away with soft neck, I can. Anyway, shout out to Haas because I was like, I forgot to go to Farmer Supply and pick up my hard neck varieties. I was like, crap, I'm running out of time. And then Haas is like, I got you. And it just dropped off some German white garlic and elephant garlic, which isn't garlic, but it's okay.
It's a leak.
It's sprung a leak.
Hey, we got a leak here. No, I want to find some time to do some seed starts because I want to get some leafy greens going. I might get some transplants. I just can't it's just until it cools down. Like I don't even want to put any leafy greens out because they're just gonna bolt,
Me
man.
neither.
Bolt.
It's so hot.
I'm still getting peppers. I'm still harvesting like a 1 gallon bucket of peppers a week, like if not more. Like
Yeah, I'm
made
sick of
100.
peppers.
Actually made 190 jars of pepper jelly this weekend.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Dang. Your pepper plant's phenomenal, dude. When I was out there,
Dude, it's there's a
you're
lot.
you're good.
It's the year of the pepper. It's the freaking year of the pepper, dude.
Because yeah, you had all those desert roses, but then I had my one desert rose. I named it Destin. It's in my greenhouse. What else was I gonna name it?
Is it
He's a
short and
perfect
squatty?
Whenever
No,
he
it's
visits you,
not.
he just goes out there and talks to his desert rose.
I did start some of my own desert rose seeds. I did start some of my own desert rose seeds. Last night I was sitting on the couch and just kind of waiting for it to slow down a little bit, waiting for it to cool down, waiting for it to slow down. I'd like to get some, like I said,
It
stuff
looks
going
really
on.
meditative, like how you displayed them out in those rings, and
That's the OCD in me. That's the OCD in me.
yeah, but you could see that like it probably felt good. You're like, that looks good.
Yeah, yeah. We were watching the last couple episodes of Sneaky Pete on Netflix, and I was doing that. So, oh, cool. But I'd like to do some carrots. I'd like to do some more carrots. I just topped off a raised bed. I need to broad fork it and probably do some carrots and kind of plant them. I think I still have that seed tape. I think I still have that seed. No, I used it. I can maybe make my own seed tape, but I've got some seeds for sure.
Question: would it take longer to take carrot seeds, make seed tape, than just to seed the carrots?
You know what would take even less time? If you go to Haas.com, growhaas.com, and order you some seed tape. We'd probably
It'll take even less time. But like,
we
because
can-
my thing
we can
is,
buy- we
I
can
don't
buy-
have patience with my carrots. I just like dig the rows. Like, I take my hori knife and I just drag a line, and then I'm just like seeds, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta thin
Yeah.
that out later.
I
Yeah.
do that too. It's like a light chaos method.
For sure.
Yeah, and then for some reason the squirrels see me like doing something in the garden. They're like, I'm gonna go F that up later. And then I'll go and we'll have like 7 holes dug. I was like, why did we do that?
Mine imitate my stuff
Why
too.
did we do that? You silly squirrels.
That's so
Lately,
fun.
I've been like getting after mine, and I'm like, come on, man, can you just leave that one bean plant alone? It's doing great. Leave it alone.
That's the harshest I've ever heard you speak of squirrels, Des.
That's the
How dare
harshest I generally speak to most anything. So
you. So funny.
usually I'm just
No.
like, well, dang it. Okay.
Yeah, Robin nailed it on the head.
Improvise,
Seed
adapt,
tape
and
is
overcome.
yes.
No, yeah, I'd like to do some carrots going. I'm not gonna do as many radishes last year because I found out I don't really like eating radishes that much, so I don't really do much with them. But carrots,
It's important. If you can't find anyone to eat the stuff you're growing, then it's kind of like a c'est la vie.
I just say I hate having empty beds. I hate having empty beds.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate having empty beds sitting around, and it's really neat. It's been dry over here, like not Austin dry, but it's been dry.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't rained much, like in a month for us.
Oh, I'm
So-
so sad about it. I need some rain.
I have giant cracks in the ground, like it's bad.
Yeah, it's really not
It's real
great.
bad.
Although
Oh, yeah.
last week in Houston was really humid. Very humid.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were at the Renaissance Festival.
Oh, yeah, I was. I wasn't going to say that out loud though. But yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was.
Yeah. I wouldn't want people to think that Des is the kind of person who goes to Renaissance Festival.
Oh my gosh, I'm super nerdy about it too. We have a giant canvas yurt. No big deal. It's fine.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
Believe that. Ooh,
Fun.
one of my lights just went out. Yeah, no, but
Darkness.
definitely need to get some root vegetables going. That's weird. I don't know why that just went out. But
I am going to plant some radishes because they're good pickled. We use them on stuff, and then Jeremy will use them to dress things when he's making stuff. So if it gets a little cooler around these parts, I will definitely put a bunch of radishes in. I like this.
The radishes are part of the chef's kiss of your food.
Yeah, he makes the little rose out of them sometimes and puts them on the top of my food and gives it to me. I'm like, what is my
What?
life? Yeah, he does.
No,
I'm serious.
y'all
What
so
a
bougie.
hubby.
I'm so spoiled. Like, guys, okay. I just have to give my husband some props because I am chasing my dreams so hard that I barely have room for anything else right now. I'm going to get emotional with y'all real quick. Okay. I'm sorry.
Let's do
But
it.
I have been having some struggles with the fact that I'm in school so hard that I don't have time to be in the garden. I haven't been able to be on the podcast lately. My house is not up to my standards. And I have to tell you, I will be up here in the middle of working as hard as I can on my schoolwork, and he will carry lunch up to me without any questions asked.
Oh,
He
he's your
has been
lobster.
letting me just be up here and just do my schoolwork. He's been making sure dinner happens. He's going to the grocery store. This dude is like doing the laundry. He has been such a help. And I know that a lot of you guys are cheering me on, and I'm so thankful for that. And I knew this would be difficult, but my new normal is too busy right now. And it's going to be okay. But I have to keep reminding myself that while I am pursuing a major passion of mine, it's hard to have my physical passion on the back burner at the same time. So if you have a spouse that's like doing the most, like definitely tell them thank you and you love them, because man, my husband is he's just killing it right now.
I was gonna make a note, like, although Jeremy would traditionally be doing the cooking regardless, he's not. It's not that right.
He would, but I mean, he's doing all the cooking, but cleaning up as well. You know, like he's like cleaning the kitchen. He's like doing he's doing everything. And it's just, you know, like usually he'll be like, what do you want for the week? And I'll be like, I want these things or something, you know, or be able to contribute to the list. But the poor guy like can't even get a list out of me right now. He's like,
It's I definitely will say that, you know, the only reason I'm able to do the things I'm able to do is because of Ashley, you know. So like it is a huge help. And I think Phil same way. And
100%.
my wife was so jealous of the way Phil was talking to his wife on the phone when he was down here.
oh.
She's like, why don't you talk to me like that?
Oh.
I said, because I'm not a pervert. No, I'm just kidding.
It was PG-13. Not PG, but it was PG-13.
We could hear you in there's tile floors. We can hear you, Phil. No, I'm just kidding.
But no, I'd same with mine. Like Grace is supportive of my passion and works both ways. Like I'm supportive of her passion. We kind of have this theme, like we're raising a family, so we're giving a lot of ourselves, but there in an event of emergency, you have to put on your oxygen mask first before helping others, kind of thing. Otherwise, you won't have the bandwidth to support the people that are closest to you. And then when you get kind of stretched in these moments, it's really important that you isolate what has priority and know that it's not an immediate thing. It's a fourth dimensional thing. So looking at things over a timeline. So sometimes it's like Grace and I talk about analogies like playing soccer. Like sometimes you're taking the ball down the field while I'm taking a rest, and vice versa. And we've done that in and out of our lives, which is pretty cool. Because Grace and I are coming up on 19 years together, 10 years married, and now we get like 3 kids and a house and pursuing passions. But we've done things for each other just like that in the past, and it's a sign of love and your resilience. So shout out to you guys. You got this, and he's got this, and you know you're both on the same team. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, and honestly, the poor guy, I literally started crying over photosynthesis last week. I had an emotional breakdown over photosynthesis, guys.
I'm like, why can't I do that?
And it was just, no, I mean, actually, it's because we were talking about the minutia of photosynthesis and the actual chemical reaction of photosynthesis and, you know, trading electrons and where you get those electrons from in order to, like, you know, so the plant can actually make food and all of these things. And the class that the one plant, you know, soil science class I'm in is basically, you know, horticulture principles. So it's like just a broad overview of plants, but this is a really dense topic to fit into one unit. And I transposed things and just got I was just like, well, that's it. That's the straw. And I just started praying over it because it's like the scientific process behind photo. It's not just the broad, like, add sunlight to plant converts, light energy into sugar.
No, you're figuring out how a chloroplast works in a cell.
Yeah. But it's a whole new world.
There you go.
It's funny. I made some chicken and rice for dinner, and I made some cauliflower. And I was telling my wife, I go, man, I really like broccoli better than cauliflower. And she goes, why? And I was like, I don't know, I guess it's the chlorophyll. I like the chlorophyll taste better.
More like chlorophyll.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Well, I'm gonna have to hop off here.
Yeah, we'll close up here in a second.
Go ahead.
We'll close up here in a second. We're gonna rat out now that I got this amazing internet. Everyone, it's not the internet, it is the Wi-Fi thing. I usually have a booster. So today, anyway,
it's
Des,
not
so
a booster.
Well, I'm glad I did too. I'm sorry that I have been MIA. I've been doing my absolute best and giving max effort at everything I'm doing right now.
We're meeting you where you are.
Thanks.
We got you.
I think we're gonna have to change your name to guest starring instead of co-hosting. No, just kidding.
You got this.
Are you frozen now? Okay, I thought you were frozen.
No.
I'm no longer frozen, guys, but you guys are all in my living room. You guys don't know it, so. But Des, yeah, great having you, Des.
Yeah, let everybody know where they can find you, what you got coming up besides school.
Oh, well, you can find me gardening with Des everywhere. Occasionally lately, I've only had time to work on my insect entomology hobby lately. And so I have been pinning insects that I've had around forever. And I've been sharing a little bit of that on Instagram. But I haven't really had time to post it anywhere else. And I'm not making videos about my insect pinning because that's just too much. But recently
It's a time-lapse camera. You seem like a time-lapse camera.
It's just hard to figure out like the right lighting in that space that I'm working. But if I do figure that, one of these days, that'd be kind of cool. But anyway, I will be back sooner rather than later. I'm sure that coming up, I am going to have my Thanksgiving break. And so, I'll be around.
You're the best, Des. We miss you when you're not here. We definitely miss you when you're not here.
Thank you. This is my first time to go back to school in 23 years. And Jeremy keeps reminding me, he's like, babe, you're doing great. This is your first semester and you're killing it. Like you're doing a good job. And I'm like,
yeah, give yourself some grace.
My type A personality is the main thing ruining my life.
And next week, for those of y'all that don't know, next week is our Halloween episode. And so I don't know. I wish Josh was here. Josh had jumped on earlier, but he had an emergency. He had to go take care of some stuff. So he'll be back next week. But last year we dressed up as our favorite gardening content creators. There's only so many gardening content creators to dress up like. So, we'll do a shuffle. We'll shuffle it up. Yeah. So that's up to y'all. I mean, we can
top last year.
Well, he won't be on, so you'll be okay. You can do it again. But I mean, we can do that, or we can just dress in costumes in general if y'all want. Let's just do costumes. We'll just dress up in a costume. Yeah, let's just do that. So you don't have to dress up as anybody in particular. You just dress up in costume.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah, keep it simple. The bow tie. I see a bow tie. Big Dave. Dave. Shout out to Dave. He's going to be on Enoch's podcast.
Nice.
Here, I think next week or something.
Sick.
Awesome. Phil, what do you got coming up, dude?
I will have weddings coming up in December. I don't have a whole lot going on right now, except I got these sweet hats. You guys, I have limited hair. I have these limited hats. I just got a batch of them. And so reach out or hit me up if you want one. They're on philsfigs.com. It would really help the channel a lot. So that'd be awesome. And then
philsfigs.com.
philsfigs.com. And then I'm just like prepping for the fall and winter. So you're going to get to see some cool stuff. Like I need to replace the panels in my greenhouse, and I bought thicker ones, but they're not exactly the right dimensions, but you can cut them with an X-Acto blade, like a razor blade. And so I'm cutting those up and I'm assembling that, and I'll show you what I'm doing to just like prep, getting rid of like wasps and stuff, and just
those greenhouse panels are so expensive. They're so expensive.
They are. Like,
It's
should I just buy another greenhouse instead and just use the panels?
That's the only reason I bought a greenhouse kit instead of just buying the panels, because it was cheaper just to buy the whole greenhouse.
Right. That's how I was thinking that. It's like all appliances now.
Yep.
Anyway, that's all I got going on. I was telling them before we aired, guys, that like I look forward to this every week. I look forward to jumping in to the like talking about plant stuff with you guys that I don't necessarily get on a regular basis. And so this is kind of my release to get hang out and talk shop.
Well,
absolutely.
So thank you, Garden Party fam.
No,
we love it.
Yes,
I missed
thank
it.
y'all very much. Thank y'all very much for being on. We miss you. We definitely miss you. And Josh, we missed you tonight too, buddy. Make sure you follow the Plant Techie. So, but all right, well, you can find me Texas Garden Guy everywhere. I will be on the road next week, going down to the Corpus. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
But it's starting to slow down for me, so I should be home making some videos soon. So I hope y'all have a great week. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the garden party, and we want a garden party with you. We talk about the plants we grow and some things you might not know. The garden party.